So I have a question in that saying it's different this time. Do you concur or not concur that this crash is going to be different than 2008 for real estate specifically?
Well, there's a couple things. One, the sentiment, the people out there believe that's the same. So in other words, everybody just got through this 10-year run and they believe next year is going to be better. So just like in 08, when you were talking about earlier, so that's the same. People, when guys like you and I come out and say, this is going to be a rough patch, could be even worse, everybody's saying that's not true, that's not true, that's not true. So it's kind of the same. That's the same. But I agree with you. There's a lot of things that are very different this time around, and people are in a lot worse situation, I believe. I just did a video this week on YouTube. There's over 300,000 people already underwater on their mortgages that bought in 2022 already. So that's out on a Yahoo article. Just Google it. So, it's starting, Robert, as you said.
What Kenny has always said, the key to real estate is jobs. And this time, not only interest rates came down after 2008, interest rates are going up this time in 2023. And we're going to have massive unemployment. You look at Meta or Facebook, they're laying off thousands and thousands and thousands of workers. So it's not only interest rates going this way, it's unemployment going this way too. And would you agree with that, Kenny? If you don't have jobs, that crushes real estate.
Yeah, I always tell people, real estate exists for people, period. You have to have people for it to work. It doesn't really matter what it is, an office building, retail, shopping center, apartments, houses. If there's no people and they can't afford it, then real estate's going to suffer. And that's where we're heading next.
When we saw 2008 and subprime coming over, I remember I had an assistant. This is prior to 2008. She ran down to one of the worst neighborhoods in town and she bought a house that she couldn't afford because her thoughts were real estate always goes up. She and I got into a fist fight almost because she was so sure that that house was going to make her rich. And thank God I got through to her. She didn't buy it because right after that, the 2008 market crashed. And so let me reiterate again, the good news for Kenny and I, when we saw that, real estate prices were coming down, but interest rates were coming down. Today, real estate prices are really high, but interest rates are going up because they're trying to stop the bubble. And that's why I say, they gave Ben Bernanke, who was the Fed chairman back then, the Nobel Prize for putting up one of the biggest financial bubbles in world history. So as we promised at the Rich Dad Show, it's good news and bad news. But right now, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So Kenny, what opportunities do you see for the mom and pop investor? Hopefully they're not underwater. Hopefully they call their attorney if they are and handle their bankruptcy or whatever they have to handle professionally. What do you see the good news is? That's the question.
Yep. Well, there's quite a bit, actually. First of all, you can make money in either direction. That's the important thing to understand. And most people don't understand how to make money when things are going down. So that's what we'll turn next. There's no question that prices are going down. There's no question that commercial and residential is going down. There's no question that interest rates are up and cap rates are up and values are down. So that's clear, and those are facts. What I've been telling everybody, and what we're doing, Robert, as you know, is we are hoarding cash right now, and that's the first thing. So we are accumulating cash to get ready, because as you know, you don't really learn a lot. In fact, I don't think you learn hardly anything when the market is going up. You think you're smart. So what's really fun is understanding what's going on when the market's going down. And this is the time that we're already seeing this. We're already seeing people that are stressed because let's say there's a couple things. One is if you have any kind of defined exit in 2023, and what I mean by that is a loan maturity. That's a defined exit. So if you have a loan that's maturing in 2023, you're in trouble because guarantee your loan rate, your interest rate is lower than it's going to be. So those people are listing. If you have an equity partner that wants their money back, or you have anything that's a defined exit for 2023, those are targets. We want to go after those people.
Oh, you want to talk to the person that's being squeezed by the vice.
Yes. Correct. Right. Those are opportunities. The other is if you bought anything last year where it was a variable rate, let's say like a home that's under construction, it could be a spec, could be one home somebody thought we're going to build a $500,000 home, let's say. Well, guarantee their costs are not 500. They started a year ago. They're over 500. That's for sure, because of the supply costs and labor costs and all that. And the construction loans on any deal, a construction loan is a floating rate debt because there's no asset. When you have land, there's no collateral. So those construction loans are always floaters, or they're variable or a bridge or whatever you want to call them. So the construction costs for that spec builder, their lines of credit, they're way high. So they're getting squeezed by costs of the actual real estate itself and the costs of the debt. So you're going to see, in my opinion, a lot of home builders making massive, massive deals next year because those two things have gotten out of hand. The reason I know this, we have 6 apartment projects under construction right now. So over 100 million in construction. And so we're dealing with labor costs, supply costs, concrete costs, lumber costs, drywall, all that kind of stuff, and the labor associated with, and our construction interest. So this is speaking from experience. And so all of this is happening right now. So anybody who has any kind of variable loan, even on a rental, let's say they bought a 4-unit building and they have a rental, you're not going to have a fixed rate debt. So those are massive opportunities because those sellers, they're going to play it cool. They're going to go, oh yeah, we're going to try to sell this 4-unit. And meanwhile, tick, 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 their costs are going up. So we're watching all of these deals. I looked at one yesterday in San Antonio where the guys were 50% occupied. They had a institutional equity that wanted their money back. And the problem is you got to be careful. You don't want to catch a falling knife because the value still could go down and you're going to step into somebody else's risk. So we passed on that one because I don't want to, I'm like, well, you had it for 2 years. How can you only be 50% occupied? There must be some other issue. But those deals are starting to surface.